Sure, it's about baseball, but it's about, like you say, it's about your daughters and being able to do whatever it is that they want to do on the field and off the field. And it's that message.
I'm in love with the good life. Can't give it up. Make it to the top. Keep climbing. I wanna live it up. The good life. I'm coming up. I'm coming up. The good life. Good life. Oh, good life. Good life. Good life.
Boom! Coming in hot, Chichi. What's going on, man? It's gonna be a good one today. What's the good word?
Dude, once every couple years, we get these folks on. They class to join up. They're two of our favorite guests, so I'm very excited about today.
Yes, friends of the show, Jean Fruth, co-founder, Grassroots Baseball, filmmaker, photographer, storyteller, all the good things. Jeff Idelson, our man, used to be president of the National Baseball Hall of Fame out there in Cooperstown. Now he's co-founder of Grassroots with Jean. They're doing some incredible things in baseball. And welcome, guys. Good to have you guys back.
Yes, my favorite podcast. I love being here.
Love being in the mayor's office.
Pieces to come on to talk about something.
Oh, this is great. Hey, listen, whenever we have you guys on, we know that we're going to be talking about some good things. And, for Jean, for, all the things you've done, for all the people that haven't, that haven't listened to our podcast with Jeff and Jean before, Jean's one of the greatest photographers Major League Baseball has ever had, ever seen. Some of her images are some of the best that have ever been taken in this game, which is great. When you get to look back and see, different pictures of different games and historic games, you look down and you see Jean was the photographer there, which is really, really cool. And Jean, baseball has always been such a big thing for you. The books that you've written, Where Legends Begin, Route 66 is one of the reasons we had you on before, where you toured America for 3 years, going down Route 66 and just shooting the game, which is incredible. And now you have this new documentary coming out, or it's already out, called See Her, Be Her, which is I think it was shot over 7 countries, if I'm correct in saying that, following 7 different girls, and just an incredible thing. Talk to us about See Her, Be Her, and how did this come about?
So this was the first time that it was girls playing against other girls, an all-girls baseball game. And it was magical, because when girls are playing just with other girls, now they're athletes playing at the highest level. And they told me their stories about how they want to continue playing baseball, but there's no opportunities for them. Their high schools were making them play softball, or they had to try out, but it's going to be difficult to play on an all-boys team. And it was the moment where we said, this is what we need to do next. We need to shine a light on these unsung heroes, girls playing baseball. People don't even know that girls play baseball. And yes, they do, not only here in the United States in a big way, but all around the world. So that's why it became an international project. We told the story of 7 women baseball stars: Puerto Rico, Canada, the United States, South Korea, Cuba, Uganda. Women play baseball in Uganda. It was insane. And, and sometimes you do a project because you're the expert in it. In this case, it was a learning experience for both Jeff and I. And just so important to us, being a woman in baseball, telling these stories. So now we fast forward, our film, See Her, Be Her, debuted during the World Series between games 2 and 3. And we were very happy that it was big markets, right? I was shooting the game when the film came out. The Dodgers playing the Yankees, a big one. And I'll let Jeff take it from there. He can tell a little bit more about our film.
Yeah, you summed it up great, Gene. But yeah, the characters in this film, Sean, the players are all really top-level women athletes, but they also have inspiring stories. And this film is about getting more girls and women to play baseball. That's what it's, and also shining a spotlight on the great baseball that's already been played. And our women players from the United States is Kelsey Whitmore, who's the only woman being paid to play professionally in America, although she now has someone else in North America with Ayami Sato from Japan, another one of our, as Jean calls them, heroes that are women, sheroes. But she is going to be the first woman to play professionally in Canada this spring. To our Canadian athlete, Ali Schroeder, who is a wildlands firefighter, Sean and Chen. So she's out there 14 days in a row, 16 hours a day, putting out these wildland firefighters in northern British Columbia. She comes back to base camp, she throws, and she's number one pitcher on the national team. So these are women who excel in everything they do, and those who see this film are going to see just how not only inspiring and uplifting their stories are, Sean and Chinch, but just how great they are as athletes.
Wow. And with women, obviously softball, we always go, like you were saying, Gene, this isn't softball, this is baseball. This is America's pastime. Are there enough leagues? Are there enough women out there that want to play baseball that are allowing them to compete?
Yeah, I mean, it's really growing and the pipeline is being made. MLB Develops has, 3 programs that are bringing up the highest level of women in the United States. There's a program, Baseball for All, that has over 1,000 girls in their program that are playing baseball on all girls teams. And then we have now Little League has Girls with Game, and their program is really taking off. And so the game in the United States is being supported and it's growing. In South Korea, there are 50 women baseball teams. 50.
Wow, what?
And that's what we need to do is shine a light, because with shining this light and giving these women visibility and just teaching the people in baseball, so many people, my colleagues in baseball, didn't know women play baseball, and asking the questions like you're asking, well, is it a thing? Yeah, it's a thing, and it's a big thing. And so with the visibility, the hope is that there's more opportunity, because they need a stage. They need more opportunity to play. They need more opportunities, whether it's in the lowest level and just being able to play like every boy can in Little League, or at the highest level, like the Major League Baseball players get to. And in Japan, we have women getting paid to play baseball on professional women's baseball teams.
What?
And it's insane. And it's Australia, Canada. It's growing around the world. So it's exciting. And there's a Women Baseball World Cup, which is what we focused our film around. It all kind of culminated at the Women's World Cup. And it was a very high level of play. It ended up I'll let you guess, but there was a gold, a silver, and a bronze. And the 3 teams were Japan, Canada, and the USA.
US.
Who do you think got the gold?
I'm going to say USA. Japan.
Yeah, Japan did it.
Did they really? Wow.
It was between Japan, and what a battle it was.
Was it Japan versus US in the gold medal game?
Yeah.
Wow, just like the WBC.
Just like the WBC.
Cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is there a woman out there that's the superstar? That's the Shohei Ohtani? Is there one woman you're like, she's the best in the business?
There's a woman pitcher, Ayami Sato, and she is the best woman pitcher in the world. And let's
does she
go.
throw?
Should we go Clayton Kershaw, Jeff? Why don't you do just what she was compared to?
Yeah, she's unbelievable. Her curveball really drops off the table. Her spin rate's comparable to Clayton's when she was at her peak. She's 33 now, so she's slowing a little bit. But she's dominated on the World Cup stage, Sean, as a starter, as Mariano did as a closer. She's unhittable, and she's got 6. She helped them to 6 straight titles. She's got like an 0.59 ERA in about 70, 80 innings. So she dominates. And she sets up her fastball nice. It's certainly not coming at the speed as a major league player, but she's got enough in her arsenal where she dominates big time.
And what do women, obviously these are some of the best women in the world. What do they sit at? What's the average fastball? And what makes her unique? Is it that 12-6 hook? Does she have a changeup? What does she sit at mile per hour wise?
Yeah, the women are if they're hitting into the 70s are doing well. So a breaking ball, knuckleball is essential at that level. But also the strength on the hitting side matches the pitching. So it's a very good quality game, and it's the level of play is high. It's really, really good.
And entertaining. The USA was hitting for power, and they're hitting home runs, and the Japanese team is bunting, and they're going around the bases, and it was exciting. It's an exciting game. And that's what we want. It's entertainment, right?
And are the fields played? I mean, I know this. I'm hopefully this isn't an ignorant question. Are the fields played in like 330 down the lines, 380 in the gaps, 400 dead center? So when you say these women are hitting homers, they're hitting homers.
They're hitting homers. Yeah.
Wow.
They are. It's not at the same level, Sean, but there's certainly a power level to it. There's also the understanding of what their, where their power is. There's a lot of small ball. It's a very entertaining game. It's akin to what the WNBA and NBA are. It's a different style, but equally entertaining.
And do you find that the Japanese are, like you said, Gene, is that their game? They're gonna bunch you. They're gonna bunt slash. They're gonna steal bases. They're gonna double steal.
Yeah, they're so, organized and managed. I mean, it's incredible, and it's fun to watch, And I really thought USA was going to do it, and right to the end, it was this, exciting game. And but USA did play them during the World Cup, because so it was kind of like a prelim to it, and USA broke their record because Japan hadn't lost in 12 years, Jeff.
Yeah, they were riding a 39-game winning streak in the World Cup, 12 years, and U.S. was able to come out on top in that. You're right, Gene, in that last game of the round robin before the gold medal game. So.
Is this something we could see maybe in the Olympics down the road? Is that a goal of these organizations?
Yeah, the big goal is continuing to grow women's game around the globe, and that's what. And in order to become an Olympic sport, there needs to be some more participation. Chinch, but they are well on their way. There's 25 nations that have women's baseball that have federations, and that's continuing to grow as the game spreads. So, yeah, the idea is to become an Olympic sport, and down the line that would be amazing.
Jeff, as a historian of the game, obviously all the things that you've done in Cooperstown, and there's being a part of the game for as long as you have, and you too, Gene. This is probably a question for both of you guys.
But Jeff's much older.
Yeah. A little bit more of a historian. When you, I go back to, I think when you think of women's baseball, initially we all go back to a league of their own. That there was a women's baseball league back. I don't know, was that during the World War II days or back? There was a women's baseball league. And can you talk about that? How about that and those women that played during that era? And I know there's a show called A League of Their Own now on Amazon that a friend of mine, was one of the actresses in there. So I watched it. And I love the traction. I love what you guys are doing to get it out there. Baseball is not just a male sport. Baseball is not just for men. It's for women. It's an incredible sport that should be played by all. Doesn't have to just be softball. You love to see this. Can you talk about, some of the history of women's baseball, going back a few years?
You want the old guy to do it?
Weren't you there during World War II when the women were playing?
Yeah, as my daughter said to my mother, "Did you know George Washington?" But I know about George Washington. No, but, baseball dates back to the mid-19th century for girls and women, Sean. Back to Vassar College having a team, the Vassar College Resolutes, and there have been fits and starts, as we say in the film, to women's baseball, but it culminated professionally with the league, which was born during World War II, as you mentioned, the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League, 12-year league from 43 to 54. One of the star players actually went to Kent State, where your son's playing, and she got her undergraduate degree there, and playing in the league, Lois Youngin paid for her education at Kent State. If you can imagine that back in the day. But that league was for 12 years. They peaked out at attendance over 1 million. They were based in the Midwest, as you know, and it was a popular sport. It was a very popular sport, but once World War II ended, it went back away. It was a different time in this country. It was sort of frowned upon for women to be in sports. And then you fast forward another 15 years, and that's when Title IX came along and softball became a thing.
But Penny Marshall did a great thing with that film, because she really did, just like we're doing now for women. She was shining a light on them, and people didn't even know that women played baseball during World War II. And the cool thing is, some of those women are in our film. They're still alive. Maybelle Blair, how old is Maybelle, Jeff? She's older than you. Yeah, she's 98 years old, and she's still an ambassador for the women's game. So it's really been just the door, like Jeff says, opening and closing. Well, now the door is blown off its hinges. I mean, and look at the success that women are having in other sports. So the film is timely. Look what's happening in basketball. Women's basketball is just on fire. Women's soccer.
Yeah, wow. You know what? It's funny because when you do see Caitlin Clark doing her thing, and now you're seeing, okay, WNBA is now flying private. They're doing, things are happening. I think you're seeing women's sports. Oh man, these are. I watch my daughters play volleyball. I'm like, I go to 15-year-old volleyball. This is good. These are good athletes. These are women getting out there. I would pay to watch this. As a matter of fact, I think women's volleyball is better than men's. In men's, it's bump set, wham, a million miles an hour. No one's touching it. Like, at least with women, you got, somebody's getting it up. You got a little bit of a volley going and stuff like that. So, this is exciting that women's baseball, this great sport is on the rise. Jean, I'm interested because for you, you even in the well. Even in the well at games, when you look over, you don't see it for at least, the years when I first came in the big leagues 20-some years ago, you didn't see a ton of women in those wells. It was mostly men. For you, being in the game, 30-some years, or, is that part of the reason that you're, doing this documentary, that you love the game so much, but also that, hey, listen, women are just as good as men and they're just as talented, and let's showcase that.
It's so personal, and it is certainly a reason, giving them the visibility. And I know what it feels like to be the only woman in a well. Not anymore, because the progress is incredible. And that's what we want to see for these girls. We want to see her be her. They have to be able to, little girls should be able to see another girl play baseball and say, I want to be able to go do that, and have the opportunity. Billie Jean King's our executive producer, and she said every girl should have the opportunity to dream, to see that and be able to do it at the highest level. And so they should be able to see that. She went to her first baseball game and she realized, first she was excited, and then she realized, oh, I can't play baseball. Her brother played for 12 years for the Giants.
Wow. Billie Jean King's?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Randy Moffat, right-handed pitcher, Giants, Astros, and Blue Jays.
Wow. But how amazing is it to have her? I mean, she arguably is the ambassador to women in sports. She is legendary, not just in what she did, but how she did it politically and just broke through barriers. To have her jump on board with you guys and be part of, a partner in all of this, that must be just a dream come true for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, arguably one of the greatest women tennis players of all time, but even more impressive is her advocacy for gender equality, women's sports, social justice issues. So yeah, having her on our side is big, and having these legends, these men on our side. What Sean said, Cal said the same thing about women's sports. When we interviewed him for the project, he's in our documentary, Cal Ripken Jr., he watched nothing but the women's college basketball last year. I said, did you watch any women's college basketball? And he said, I'll have you know, I only watched women's college basketball this year.
So did I. I did too.
Same thing.
I was enamored.
Yeah, and finding the level of play. And he talked about his sister being the athlete in the family. I mean, of all things, right? With the Ripken family. So it was like, what? And he said Ellie desperately wanted to play baseball. She was mad all the time that there was no baseball for her, that she had to play softball because she couldn't play baseball like her brothers and like her father. Ichiro Suzuki is in our film. He does so much for the women's game in Japan, and he plays a game against the women's high school all-star team every year, and he hosts it at the Tokyo Dome.
Wow.
And he says, this is what we need. He goes, I don't want to talk about, let's not have a conversation about where women's baseball is at now. Let's have like-minded people to get together with like-minded passion and give them a stage to see where it can go.
And he pitches in that too, right? I think I've seen him pitch to some of the girls and not letting up.
When we interviewed him, he hadn't gotten a hit yet. He's been doing it for a few years. And he said, if I don't get a hit this year, since I didn't play, then I'll be 0 for the year. And I can't let that happen. And he did get a hit. So he was determined. He said, I'd be miserable if I don't get a hit.
I'm interested with defensively. That the shortstops having to make that backhanded play. I mean, are we seeing women make that play where you got to go to your right into the hole? have to make that long throw? Are they making the same plays that men are? Like I said, for being, I mean, maybe I'm being ignorant here and shame on me, but are they making those plays, the diving play down the third base line, coming up and having enough to get the guy at first?
Oh, you got to see the film. We're sending you a link.
Oh, I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it.
Excited to send it. Yes, they are doing that, Jeff. What do you say?
Absolutely, Sean. I mean, the defense in the World Cup is great, and it shines through in the film. You'll see it. But the USA team, they're very, very strong up the middle. Their corner infielders both played well, and it's a good game. It really is a good, solid game to watch at that level. Very, very strong. And this new league that's going to start next year, the Women's Professional Baseball League, which was announced about a week after our film came out in October. You're going to see that. I mean, you're going to have 6 teams. I'm sure the rosters will be international. You'll see the best of the best. And finally, with a television deal, the country will be able to see that women do play baseball and play it really well.
Wow. Wow, that's awesome. That's really awesome. Now, you have a partnership right now. Can you talk about that? I think Sony's involved. AMC theaters are involved. People are kind of rallying around this See Her, Be Her documentary. Tell us about those partnerships that are happening.
It's really been to get the support from big companies. Like Sony was with us from the very beginning, supporting us in many ways, including the gear. We shot it all on Sony, and just to have companies like that believe in the project before it even gets off the ground, it's taking a big risk, and they were there for us. And then, Billie Jean King, Cal Ripken Jr., Ichiro Suzuki, having those individuals, and now Dolby at AMC, and I'll let Jeff talk about that, but, now they've stepped up and they're supporting in a big way.
Yeah, Sean, they Dolby very much loved the film when they saw it. Their CEO Kevin Yeaman is a big fan, a big baseball fan, and they latched right onto it, and they said this really needs to tour around the country. And they're partners with AMC Theaters, so we put together the See Her, Be Her tour that is playing in Dolby Cinemas in AMC Theaters around the country. We're headed to Seattle in a couple of weeks, and Washington, New York. We're in Austin. We're in Minnesota. We're in Miami. We're all over the place, and it's encouraging to see because with partners like them, girls have an opportunity to see this film in a theater. And not only that, Sean, but in each of the venues, we're having a panel discussion with a bank of experts of women in baseball, and we had Wendy Seelig-Prieb. We had who used to be CEO, chairman of the Brewers. We had Veronica Alvarez, who's the manager of the USA national team, Alex Hugo, Maggie Medlinger, who both play, and they really bring it to these conversations after the films. And then we do a book signing, and all of the proceeds go to Little League for their Girls with Game program. So we're doing everything we can to continue to push and grow the game, and with Dolby and AMC support, we're able to do that.
Wow, that's a lot of action. Gene, are you still shooting the games, or what do you do?
Yeah,
Do you have any free time? Do you and Jeff ever go to dinner, or do you guys do? What's going on?
Yeah. Oh, I'm so excited. It was so fun to shoot last year's World Series. I had a blast. I mean, we were tired because we were just finishing the film, but yeah, I still photography for me and shooting the game and just what's going to happen, and it's still. I'm just as excited. So yeah, I'll be San Francisco Giants. I'll be shooting their opening day, and I can't wait. I can't wait to. And we're going to tell the grassroots stories this year for opening day. I love everybody's grassroots story. I want to know like Sean Casey's grassroots story.
Oh, I got a good one.
See, and so that's going to be kind of our next little project as we move along, is starting to tell. Like, okay, you're Shohei Ohtani, okay, you're Sean Casey, but where'd you start? What's your grassroots story?
Well, you know what? I just got the chills all over my body. That little kid comes out in all of you. You go to the grassroots. Like, I'm a 50-year-old man now, but that 12-year-old Sean Casey, that 14-year-old Sean Casey that didn't play on his freshman team, that had to go talk to his dad and see if he would talk to the coach, and he said, no, you need to work harder. And that's like the conversation I had that got me to start hitting every day and loving the techniques of the swing and really getting into it. Like, I'm one of 19,000 of those stories. You know what I mean? Like, it's incredible. To tap into that, Gene, would be amazing for guys. Like, guys would love to tell.
Inspirational.
Yeah.
I mean, to hear that you didn't make your high school freshman
team. The freshman.
I'm shocked just to hear that.
Yeah.
What was the
Incredible.
story you told yesterday? What did your dad used to say about your butt glove?
Oh, my dad too. My two. You know, nowadays it's a little different. My dad used to two advice for hitting: hiney down, glove on the ground, and he would say swing level, hiney down, glove on the ground. Those are my two advice to my dad. That brought me all the way to the big leagues. You know what I mean? It's so funny. But no, Gene, there's so many stories. I mean, even like really quick, you know, talking about grassroots. When I had no college scholarship offers. By my senior year, I become really good. I was hitting every day, and I remember my dad saying, "Hey, nobody's coming for you. You got to learn in life. Like nobody wants it. If you don't want it and you're not going to go to people, they're not coming for you. You got to continue to put the work in." And I wrote 31 letters. He was like, write letters to colleges that you want to go to. I wrote 31 letters. You know, one of those at University of Richmond. They were the only college to come see me play. That day I went 4 for 4, 4 doubles, 8 RBIs, and I got a scholarship to Richmond. That's how. And then my career kind of like, you know, started my freshman year, won the NCAA batting title my junior year, second round pick, and that's how it started. But like two conversations with my dad. One, hey, listen, I'm not going to go talk to the coach. You're not glaringly better than the kid that's playing. If you start working hard and doing that, then you'll become glaringly better and you'll play. And then the second was my senior year, 3 years later, when he said, nobody's coming for you in life. Like you either you're going to go take it, or you know nobody's going to want it for you more than you want it for yourself. Those two lessons are a huge reason why I feel like I played in the 12 years and could battle the resilience of the game and the failure and all that stuff. And those are my grassroots like that, you know, without those conversations with a dad that was like, you know, hey, life's not fair. And you're going to learn that either now or you're going to learn it at some point.
No one's coming for you. I love that. No one's coming for you.
No one's coming for you.
You better do it. You
better do it. No one's going to feel bad that you're the only woman in the well 30 years ago. And hey, if you don't want to do it, don't do it. It's your choice. But you got to be a little tougher. You got to show up. You got to put the work in. You got to show that you have great work. You got to show that you're the best in the business. Not even the best woman. You're the best in the business. You know what I mean? So like it's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I'm so psyched for grassroots stories now. I think we're going to ask you for a little kid picture, a baseball picture.
Yes.
So we could do it if you don't mind.
Oh, please.
You're telling that story. That's so good. It's so good. And it's important. It's important for a little kid who knows like, oh yeah, I guess I can do that too. Who gets rejected. It's just not that easy. You don't just sail through.
Yeah, most people probably didn't sail, unless you're Ken Griffey Jr., who was just hitting tanks at like 14.
Yeah, maybe he did sail through, yeah.
He's the only guy.
We'll have to ask him if he sailed through. Yeah.
Jeff, you were going to say something?
No, I was going to say from that moment with your dad all the way to playing 12 years in the majors, you say only 19,000, you know, as many as 19,000 players, you know, but most people don't realize that a company like Walmart has 2.5 million people they employ a year. You're one of only 19,000 over, 150, 170 years of baseball. So kudos to you. And then to have 2 bats in the Hall of Fame on top of it, man.
Yeah. Thank you.
Kudos.
Jeff, thank you. And I tell you what, one of the coolest things in my life that I have is the letter that you sent back when I was on the ballot. And I didn't realize it was a big deal to get on the ballot. You know, and in that letter, it says, congratulations, you've made the ballot, which has to be voted on by guys. And it said only 5% of players that are drafted make the big leagues. And of those 5%, 17% play 10 years or more. I mean, that blew me. I use that stat all the time, especially when I do keynote speeches and stuff like that. And the meaning to say like, hey, listen, like, you know, you can do it. You can do it too. You know, there's a lot that goes into it, but appreciate that letter to me meant so much. I you know, even though I didn't get a vote to go to Cooperstown, the fact that I had the numbers to get on the ballot that I didn't realize that was a big deal was really cool.
Big time, Sean. And I mean, you know, getting into the Hall of Fame is so difficult. I tell kids, you know, 1%, I put it in perspective. I say you have to go out and watch 2 major league games. You're going to see 100 total players generally, 25 on a roster. One of them is going to Cooperstown. Who's the one of all 4 teams? So it's hard to get in. And your career was incredible, and you should be very proud of what you accomplished. And the fans in the cities you played, especially Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, you know, adore you for it.
Yeah, thanks.
Speaking of votes, have we found the guy who didn't vote for Ichiro yet?
I think it was Sean.
Yeah, who was it? Jeff, do you know?
I don't know.
Terrible. Sorry.
Who was the guy who didn't vote for Jeter, right? There was
Right.
one.
What are we doing?
Who
Jeff,
didn't vote for Hank Aaron? Who didn't vote for
who
Willie
didn't vote-
Mays?
yeah, but do you think their vote should be revoked? Do you think they should find out and go, oh, you were the guy, you're done?
Yeah.
You're done. You're not taking this seriously. You're done. You're out of here.
On one hand, it's a democracy. On the other hand, it's really hard to fathom how that's possible.
Yeah.
Maybe
Exactly.
they just want to be that guy.
Jeez, it's incredible. Gene, question for you. You were talking about Uganda. Do they have the equipment in Uganda? And are you finding that to be something that, like, because I know in Dominican, we're always sending stuff down there and stuff. But Uganda, do they have catcher's equipment? Do they have, where do they, these bats now are $400 a Marucci and, Rollins, and, it's become an expensive game. Do they have any equipment down there?
They don't. It's the same thing now. People are sending equipment down, and so they're getting donations, and it is the hardest thing that they face. So Dominican Republic women have a national team. There's how many national teams are there? 25 countries have national teams. So Uganda wants a national team, and I think they will get one. They have the raw talent down there. I mean, Jimmy Rollins was down there with the boys quite a few years ago, and he says, look, like, they don't have cleats sometimes. Sometimes they're playing barefoot. Sometimes they have a bat. Sometimes there's no field. But the raw talent is there, and it's the same for the women. Now there's 8 regions, and there's some support coming their way. There's some donations going their way, but it's slow. But I do think with the tenacity that they have, the raw talent that they have, nobody's coming for them, but just the same thing. They're going for it. I do believe the women will have a national team. If they do, we're going back down.
Oh, that's so cool. Bring Chinch and I. We want to come.
Yeah,
we want to come.
It's so amazing. It is. It's amazing. So.
Yeah, that's a great. Well, this has been so eye-opening. Where can our listeners go see this documentary? Where can we find you guys? How do we support you guys? How do we help get stuff to Uganda? You know what I mean? Like, tell us.
Well, I mean, the easy thing, Sean, is just to go to our website, seeherbeher.com. That's the film website, seeherbeher.com. There you get the schedule of when we're in theaters around the country, the Dolby AMC theaters. We're streaming on Amazon Prime. There's a link right to the stream there. It's where you can buy Jean's book, See Her, Be Her, and that's where everything lives. seeherbeher.com.
Wow, great. So great. We are so excited to have you guys on again. Whenever you want to come on, just let us know. We love having you on. But I mean, as I speak for Chinch too, probably, saying that good for you guys, man. Good for you guys. Like I said, having 2 daughters, it kind of chokes me up a little bit. I want to see them do whatever they want to do. If they want to play baseball, they should be able to play baseball. Whatever they can do in this world. And for you guys to be pushing that envelope, for getting the word out, for showing us that there's 50 women baseball teams in South Korea. We would never know that. We would never know that it was, that Ichiro is doing what he's doing in Japan, that the gold medal WBC or the World Cup, that it came down to Japan and USA, that Uganda is playing baseball. Like, keep spreading the word. I mean, and I hope all of us get out there and get to see this, See Her, Be Her, and start locking into that. If you have a daughter out there and they want to play baseball, pretty soon there's going to be a chance that she's going to be able to do that, here in the United States and all over the world. So kudos to you guys for what you're doing with grassroots baseball, nonprofit, and keep spreading the word. And I can't wait to see what your next project's going to be after you blow this one up.
Oh, so nice. And it is about the girls. It's not about baseball. Sure, it's about baseball, but it's about, like you say, it's about your daughters and being able to do whatever it is that they want to do on the field and off the field. Yeah. And it's that message.
Yeah, awesome.
Yep. And, you talk about daughters. I have a daughter, Sean. She's bringing 6 of her friends, 6 of her girlfriends to the film in New York. She wants them all to see it. Chinch, you should come if you can. May 4th, Sunday, we're going to be in Lincoln Center at the AMC.
I would love to. Maybe I'll bring my niece, Amaya. She's 5.5 years old. Huge baseball fan.
Oh, amazing.
We'll talk.
Okay, absolutely.
Tiny down, glove on the ground. My new thing now. I'm taking that one.
Tiny down, glove on the ground, swing level. That's it. If you do that, if you tell your daughters that or your sons, you'll be big leaguers.
That's it.
Jim Casey's wisdom. Tiny down, glove on the ground. So funny. Hey, guys, you're the best. You're the absolute best. Best of luck to you guys. We will see you soon. Gene, hopefully I'll see you at a ballpark soon. Jeff, I'm sure I'll run into you. But love you guys. Thanks for being on with us.
We love you. Thanks.
Better the mayor's office than the principal's office. Thanks, guys.
Definitely better than the mayor's office and the principal's office, no doubt.